hands. We can't let it be run by just these wild guys who do crazy stuff. I mean, not like me. I'm Mr. Family Friendly here. I'm just like I offer the best advice on life, you know? I don't think for a second that a person should, you know, ah, crap. I knew this was going to happen sooner or later. Put out that fire. Wherever it is. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's already out. Okay, good. Man, our industrial sector is really underdeveloped. But that's okay. We'll worry about such things later. I'm just zoning my butt off. Not literally, of course. I don't know if you could do that. Like, imagine, you know, I was nominated by the, well, it's usually the town council or whatever it's called. You know, the board of directors. I really don't know what it's called, but the town council nominates a guy to zone out their land, you know. So, like, let's say a town didn't have a zoning ordinance before, and it wants one now because, you know, there's a lot of booming business in their city. Things are going kind of crazy. And so they're like, you know, we're going to pass a few zoning ordinances. We're going to get this under control. And the guy who does it, he works so long through the night and through the day, and he doesn't sleep, he doesn't eat, because he knows his township must be zoned. Well, one day, he doesn't know this, but his butt muscles are so cramped from the sitting in that chair that they've become brittle. And he tries to move one day, and the butt muscles just give out, and he collapses. His butt just completely separates from the rest of his body. And he's rushed to the emergency room, and they try to attach his ass. But it's too late, you know, the ass has already been separated from the body from too long, so I mean, he can only wear assless chaps from now on because he has no ass. He literally zoned his ass off. I mean, I think that's a really sad story. So that comes to show you, if you're a person who spends a lot of time sitting at your computer every day, you gotta get up and exercise your ass, man. Because you don't want to be like that poor zoning board guy. I mean, he has no ass. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like having an ass. It just like anchors the rest of my body, you know? So, if you feel the same way as me, if you enjoy having an ass, you gotta exercise once in a while. See? Does Byron have public safety messages like that in his videos? I don't think he does, you know? He just doesn't care about the public welfare. It's really disturbing, you know? Like I said, man, the children. But you can't win every battle, right? And it looks like that's not gonna... Oh, it will connect to that. Okay. Will it connect to that? Okay. Here we go. Alright. Whee! I mean, you gotta think of the children, man. The children are our future. If we didn't have children, what would we be left with? Just a bunch of old people. And you know what happens? Old people eventually die. So, we need children. And in order to have those children survive to adulthood, we have to teach them vital moral lessons, such as, like, moving your ass so it doesn't fall off. I mean, I think this needs to be like a political slogan. I mean, moving your ass isn't something that any of the presidential candidates talked about. I mean, whether you're a fan of Barack Obama or Mitt Romney, well, the election's over for one thing, but no matter who you're a fan of, neither of them talked about moving your ass. Because, I don't know. I really don't know why they don't talk about it. I think it's a more important issue than they really understand. I mean, you know, they have their own constituencies and they have their pet issues, you know, all that stuff. But asses detaching from bodies, I mean, when that happens, that's a pretty serious medical condition. Only in 20% of the time are they actually able to successfully reattach an ass. I mean, you have to think about that. 80% of the people whose asses detach from their bodies just have to live that way for the rest of their life. And you know what I think? I mean, I really just think, no. I just really think that's no way to live. I mean, I don't think I'm the only one. But there is hope, because there are such things as prosthetic asses. They're not that popular in America yet, but they are gaining popularity in Europe. I mean, back in the 90s, there was this doctor who, 6, who developed a technique for, assal reattachment. Well, I mean, not that, but just like artificial asses. And he was able to generate some high quality asses for the people, but since there really were no regulations at the time dealing with this kind of problem, I mean, just the acknowledgement that there was a problem was several years off. So because of that, there were no regulations in which to govern him over, and the FDA got really nervous. So they pulled the plug on his funding, and he was so close to finding a cure for detached asses. So close. But, you know, we really have to pull back and think, you know, what's the important thing? And the important thing is, a person who reasonably exercises has every reason to expect that his ass will still be attached to his body in the morning. You got that, folks? I mean, the people of this city probably don't get it. I haven't given them any hospitals or any public services whatsoever. But that's alright. I mean, one thing you have to understand is that you really have to give them services, you know, a little bit at a time. You know, you can't really just charge up your credit card. I mean, they have a word for that. It's socialism, man. We don't allow socialism in America. We're the land of the free and home of the brave. For example, the Atlanta Braves. Speaking of the Atlanta Braves, man, did anyone watch the wild card playoff between Atlanta and St. Louis Cardinals? And they called that infield fly rule, and it was just about the silliest thing I've ever seen. I mean, you know, I'm a Phillies fan, so, you know, I should be hating on Atlanta, shouldn't I? But I gotta be honest, you know, that was just a bullshit call, man. I mean, I had good discussions about it with, you know, people who have a deeper knowledge of baseball than me, and they explained to me why that rule is in place, and then I was like, well, I understand why that rule is in place, but I don't see how it applies to the situation. So they explained to me how it applies to the situation, and I'm like, you know, I kind of understand, but that's really obtuse, you know. I don't think your average fan is going to really understand that, and it's just like such a weird way to run things. But it doesn't matter because, you know, I don't know if they would have come back anyway, but it was still a ridiculous call, man. You know, I'm a Phillies fan, and I was mad, you know, because I was hoping, you know, you come to respect your adversaries, you know, and I was really thinking that it was the Braves' time to pull through. But, nope, was not to be. Just like the Metallica song says, sad but true. So, that's that problem. I mean, it's all good now because the 2012 season, or the 2013 season, I guess, is going to be starting before we know it, and the Phillies are going to win the World Series again, and all you doubters can shut up. But it's coming. Oh, it's coming, alright. Oh, man. Well, there we go. I kind of like how the city's turning out so far. Oh, you missed the spot, dummy. Maybe I'll name these streets sometime. I'd ask you for names, but let's be honest, I'd probably just ignore most of them because I'm a heartless bastard that only pretends to care what you think, obviously. I don't really care. I mean, come on now. Who has the time for that shit, man? No, I'm just kidding. I really do care what you guys think, and I, you know, listen to your complaints and your, you know, well, when I say listen, I mean, you know, they do pass between my ears, but I'm not saying I do anything about them. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of silly if you ask me. Doing what people ask you to do when they're like your viewers and subscribers. So much silliness. Do we live in America or communist Russia? I mean, you know, sometimes I doubt it. I doubt myself, you know, or doubt the truth of the matter. What the hell am I talking about? Who knows? Oh, I don't see this ending well at all. Oh, man. I don't know if that's going to do it, man. It did do it. Look at me. I am George Clooney. Anyone who doubts that I am George Clooney should be shot on sight. So, please, if there are any of you that doubt that George Clooney is present and makes Let's Plays for your viewing pleasure, please bring them before the official inquisitorial squad, and we'll sort them out. We'll teach them the proper way to act on the Bone Canoe channel. You don't doubt George Clooney when he comes before you in person. I mean, you just don't doubt the Clooney, you know, man? That's not what you do. When the Clooney stands before you, you're going to be judged. And are you going to be judged to be a good boy or a bad boy? Is Santa going to leave coal in your stockings, or is he going to leave you a bunch of presents? Well, that depends on how rich your parents are, but let's ignore that fact for the moment and just focus on your tax returns, I guess. I really don't know. Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty much going to complete this pattern over the entire city. And if you don't like it, well, you can always go see Dwyering cities, I guess. I mean, you know, they're kind of boring. They're kind of predictable. But no, you can see them if you want. It's a free country. No one's standing here saying, thou shalt not, you know. Oh, you bitch. Well, you just diddle on over there. I love these crazy intersections. It makes life so much more fun. I mean, you know, typically anyone who's going to play a game like this is a nerd. But there are some people who are just like, so like, oh, this has to be exactly right, you know, things have to be facing the right way and line up perfectly, you know. That kind of like OCD crazy nut that we all know. We all know one of those in our lives. Some of us know more than one. But, you know, I'm not one of those, you know. I like things looking organic. And I find it amusing that people are actually asking Dwyron to make an organic city. And you can save your breath. He's never going to do one. Nope, never ever going to do one. Because he likes to make him boring. Yeah, you know. How you like them crab apples? Alright, it's time for us to expand our industrial zone because you can't have a prosperous city without industry. Oh man. It's quite a beautiful thing, really. Oh man. But yes, I've been trash talking the Big D quite a lot over the course of this episode. We'll see how he responds. I recommend all of you spam his channel and be like, hey, Big D, oh crap, my city's out of power. And tell him to respond to me. Make sure to call him Big D. I have no idea whether he'll like that or not, but, you know, just do it anyway, you know? Screw what everyone else thinks. You're doing it Bone Canoe style, dogs. And everyone knows this is the only style to do it. Oh, man. We are really going to do it this time. Zone it up. Get it in. And get everything beautified. Or beatified, you know. I think that refers to the Catholic process of like a dude becoming a nun or something. I really don't know. You'd have to ask a real Catholic, which I am not. I'm not even a fake Catholic. We're going to zone this heavy industrial, but of course, you know, nobody actually, you know, no one has water, so they know it's not going to really be heavy industry, for a while at least. That's just how things work in this house, you know? You think you know a guy, then he stabs you in the back and steals your Cheetos. Sad state of affairs when we live in a world where that is a common daily occurrence. You know, I would campaign against that if I was, like, your congressman, but I'm not your congressman. First of all, you'd have to live in Pennsylvania's 8th district for me to be your congressman. And for another thing, you'd have to vote for me. And I've really given you no reason to vote for me because I haven't expounded my political philosophy to you. Except, of course, you know, we gotta think of the children and shit, you know? But everyone says that, dog. So, I mean, what do I really believe? What do I really think? Well, I'm going to have to wait until after the election to tell you. And the reason is because everything I have is just too good. Look at that tomfoolery. Oh, gotta love it. I'm hitting a wine glass. I'm hitting a wine glass. Not that I've been drinking any wine, of course. No, of course not, you foolish people. Why would you even suggest such a thing? Let's put random houses in here. There we go. Those people are going to have the best lives of all. Well, that should take the, everyone should be happy with that. And if they're not, they can join me in kissing their own asses. Oh, hello. I wasn't even near that car, I think. I don't know. I can't be expected to know these things. Oh, man. It's weird, you know? When you haven't been in school of any kind for 8 years and you sit back and you think, gee, no one's given me a test or a quiz recently or asked me to study something. It's kind of weird when you think about it. I mean, for those of you watching who are teenagers, adult life, it's just strange. I don't get it, you know, man? Like, I know what it is to go to school and sit at the desk and take notes and stuff. And I think in my subconscious, I'm still waiting for the next school year to begin. You know, my subconscious doesn't accept the fact that I graduated from high school, what was it, 8 going on 9 years ago now? My subconscious doesn't accept that fact, you know?